It's like
Tim Dillon says it's like she does gypsy curses because she speaks in gypsy curses.
That's very good. But it's, we need to build an opportunity economy, because if Americans don't have opportunity, then they're not going to have the opportunity to be Americans.
JD Vance goes on Rogan and absolutely crushes it. Get out your Kamala Harris toilet paper, ladies and gentlemen, because Vance and Trump have officially beat Kamala Harris's campaign. Now the only thing they're campaigning against is the cheating. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing truth of other freedom fighters, because truth conquers. I have been so impressed with JD Vance, seeing him the past few months, getting to hear him, and I think the best format to hear him has been his recent podcast with Joe Rogan. It blew me away, and ladies and gentlemen, it's also blowing the internet away. In less than 24 hours, that podcast, just on YouTube views alone on Rogan's channel, has 8.1 million views. YouTube's not even Rogan's biggest platform, so Spotify, all the other podcasts, you can't really get those numbers. But just on Rogan alone, 8.1 million views within 24 hours, just days after Kamala refused to go on. She created her excuses. Oh, you have to come to me and jump through this hoop. So that's not going to happen. And then just days after, President Donald J. Trump is on Rogan. And man, I would say Rogan is not promoting these people. They are good people and therefore promote themselves well, because they show up being real, talking with their mind, not talking points, not a narrative, not with puppet strings attached, but talking their mind. And in a 3-hour podcast, JD Vance was 3 hours and 17 minutes. You get to learn a little bit about who the human actually is. And I think JD Vance, he came across very open, not just like, hey, policies he stands for. Even more than that was just who he is, who and how he is as a person. And it makes it make a lot more sense why Kamala is dodging Rogan's podcast as though it's a bullet. So I highly recommend listening to the full episode. Get yourself your daily dose of JD Vance. It was phenomenal. And before the highlights, meanwhile, President Trump is driving a garbage truck. By the way, just beside the point, you heard all about the Tony Hinchcliffe, Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage in the ocean joke. And, I did a reaction video. You'll get my thoughts on it. And, people are, oh, that's bad for Trump's campaign. I want you to know this. Tony Hinchcliffe may have won Trump and Vance the election. Now, it's clear they've had Kamala beat for a long time, but now they're just trying to beat the cheating. It could come down to Tony Hinchcliffe's inappropriate joke actually won these guys the election, because then in short order, Biden says, well, all Trump supporters are garbage, which is just, that's not a comedian making a joke. That's a president making a serious statement. And then, of course, President Trump capitalizes on Biden's statement just like a boss, driving a garbage truck to a rally, wearing the orange vest the whole way. So freedom lovers might have Tony Hinchcliffe's inappropriate joke to thank, and tells us we need more inappropriate jokes in America. Let's hit some of the podcast highlights with JD Vance.
So what's interesting to me about toddlers, and I've talked with Tucker Carlson about this. Toddlers lie in a way that's very different from how everybody else lies, right? So like if you're telling a lie, normally, hey, did you do that thing? You would say, no, somebody else did it, or they kind of qualify it a little bit. Let me give you an example. My 4-year-old, I'm a big baker. Probably surprised by that, but I'm a big baker. And my 4-year-old and I are making an Oreo cake a few weeks ago. And my 4-year-old is helping me. He likes to help me out a lot when I bake. And I go to the bathroom, and the Oreos that we're supposed to put in the Oreo cake, like crumble them up and put them in the cake, like half of them are gone when I get back. And I'm like, buddy, what happened to the Oreos? And he looks at me, and without a hint of irony or shame, he says, I didn't eat the Oreos, you did.
That's how Kamala lies. Yeah, we're not politically persecuting Trump. Trump will politically persecute us. We don't want to take away your rights. Trump wants to take away your rights. It's lying with gaslighting. It's 1984. It's like lies squared. That is a perfect analogy with Vance's 4-year-old.
Right? So that's the way that Kamala Harris lies, is I didn't eat the Oreos, you did. Not only does she actively brag, and has her administration actively bragged about trying to arrest her political opponents, she will go out and say that if Donald Trump is the president, he's going to arrest his political opponents, even though he already was president and he didn't do that.
Did you see she went on Shannon Sharp and said that he's going to take away your Second Amendment rights?
It's crazy. The person who literally wants to confiscate firearms, Kamala Harris, is saying that Donald Trump wants to take away your Second Amendment rights.
And if you're dumb enough to fall for a 4-year-old's lies, which quite frankly can be cute, then you're certainly dumb enough to believe Kamala is being honest with you, and it's not so cute. It's tyrannical. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first I want to tell you this. You will never feel your best if you've got poor energy, you're getting poor sleep, you're full of inflammation, and your hormonal system is all out of whack. These are challenges I always am looking for ways to overcome, and nothing helps me do it like the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket. I've been working with Bond Charge for well over 4 years now. They're a holistic wellness brand with evidence-based products to help you optimize your life in every way. And their infrared sauna blanket makes it easy to get the amazing benefits of infrared saunas in the most convenient, affordable way possible. It's what I have in my home. And here's the cool part. It doesn't break the bank, and it doesn't take up a bunch of big bulky space in your home. I just get mine out, I roll it out, I get in for 40-minute sessions 3 days a week while I listen to a podcast or an audiobook to make my mind a little sharper while I'm at it. And it's excellent for weight loss or toning your body because how the sauna blanket works, it elevates your heart rate to that of exercise, making it so you can burn 600 calories in one session, all while you're relaxing. And you get a beautiful natural endorphin release, which is excellent for resetting and relaxing your mind. It takes me less than a minute to set up and less than a minute to put away. I don't have to waste time driving to a sauna facility. I get it all fast and convenient in my own home anytime I want it. And Bond Charge's Black Friday holiday sale is upon us, ladies and gentlemen, which means you can get a discount like never before on the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket and everything Bond Charge has to offer. Here's how you do that. Go to bondcharge.com/JPReacts and use the discount code JPReacts25 to get a full 25% off your order. All Bond Charge products are HSA, FSA eligible, giving you up to a 40% tax-free savings. That's bondcharge.com/JPReacts, and for 25% off for the holidays, use discount code JPReacts25. Enjoy, because I know I do. Now back to the video. Now, J.D. Vance made a bold statement that he believes he and Trump have the normal gay guy vote. And I think this is actually a common sense statement, but it's created a little bit of buzz. So after we hear what he said about he and Trump having the normal gay guy vote, which was in a part of the discussion where they're talking about the dangerous trans ideology, we're going to hear from a normal gay guy and a very abnormal gay guy to see what they think of Vance's statement.
I think that, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if me and Trump won just the normal gay guy vote. Because, again, they just wanted to be left the hell alone. And now you have all this crazy stuff on top of it that they're like, well, no, we didn't.
The LBTQ plus Two-Spirit IA AI, whatever.
To give pharmaceutical products to 9-year-olds who are transitioning their genders. We just wanted to be left the hell alone.
Well, a lot of gay guys feel like the whole movement is homophobic, which is ironic because they think that there's people think there's something wrong with being gay, so what you really are is a girl.
Yes.
And they think that a lot of this is being given, these thoughts are being given to gay kids. These kids will just grow up to be gay men, and instead you're getting them to convert their gender.
It's pharmaceutical conversion therapy.
Pharmaceutical conversion therapy. You know, the conversion therapy of pray the gay away, pray the whatever away. That's looked at as horrible. But, pharmaceutical conversion therapy, that's the same thing, only much worse. So let's throw it over to our resident normal gay guy correspondent for his thoughts on J.D. Vance's statement.
We didn't want to give pharmaceutical products to 9-year-olds who are transitioning their genders. We just wanted to be left the hell alone.
Me, normal, that's pushing it, but you got my vote. Vance is right, because the movement, which was once a movement for equality, has now turned into a movement of wanting privilege. Because no, I'm not down for the kids medically transitioning. Let kids be kids and stop introducing trans ideologies to them at such a young age. And the mess that pride has become, act like you were brought up correctly, and if you weren't, teach yourself how to conduct yourself accordingly in public settings, because nobody wants to see all that. I'm not down with trans women competing in women's sports or entering women's spaces, especially when women come forward and vocalize how it makes them uncomfortable. And the majority of people don't give a fuck about your gender identity or sexual orientation, so stop making it everybody's business. I personally would like to blend with society, or how Vance put it, just be left alone. He gets it, he understands it, and for that reason, yes, this gay man will be voting for Trump and Vance. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.
Now let's turn it over to our resident abnormal gay guy correspondent, Jeffrey Marsh, who is an absolute child predator. He's a pervert. He is on TikTok. You've probably seen him before. And this clip of Jeffrey Marsh reacting to J.D. Vance's obviously very offensive statement, because he's talking about common sense. This was posted by Gays for Trump 24. And here's what the text says. As a normal gay guy, I can confirm, Jeffrey Marsh, a non-normal gay guy, that Trump never demonized us. You don't represent our community. You never will. Normal gays for Trump. Let's hear a little bit from this predator.
Wanted to be left the hell alone, and now you have all this crazy stuff on top of it.
Oh no. No, I'm the crazy stuff, I guess. I'm a they, them, but...
Oh, he actually is crazy. And not because of the they, them. I think that's probably just a symptom of his crazy. He's regularly on TikTok preaching to children, don't trust your parents, trust me. It is absolute grooming behavior, sickening. And I believe he was an invite to the DNC.
I would guess, and please, normal gay guys, let me know in the comments, that our community would remember how we were treated and demonized in the 80s and 90s.
And what that community is saying is, you are not part of our community. You are a predator. You are a pervert. You are not just a gay guy. Because did you know, gay people, trans people can be perverts the same way straight people can be perverts. It's good to see the perverts and the predators so you can steer clear. Now let's pick it up with Rogan and J.D. Vance talking about Kamala's expertise in word salad, where she is the best at using the most words to say as little as possible, oftentimes nothing, because words are audible symbols. They're meant to convey meaning, and she conveys next to no meaning with the words she puts together.
It's amazing.
But man,
the little
she just
Bluetooth thing, the earring.
It's astonishing. She talks. The only way I can describe it is she talks in circles.
Yeah,
right. It's like
Tim Dillon says it's like she does gypsy curses because she speaks in gypsy curses.
That's very good. But it's, we need to build an opportunity economy, because if Americans don't have opportunity, then they're not going to have the opportunity to be Americans. And it's like, what the hell?
The opportunity to
did you
generate
just
wealth
say?
and generational wealth. Like, wait a minute. Do you know if few people generate generational wealth? That means you have so much money, you're going to give it to other generations.
Well, but there's actually, okay. I mean, I give a lot of speeches, so there's actually a skill to this. I think that she is the Michael Jordan of using as many words as possible to say as little as possible. There's actually a certain gift that she has, because you listen to her talk and you're 100, 200 words into it, you're 500 words into it, and you're like, what the hell did she just say? She didn't say anything.
Right.
And that actually, I mean, okay, so yeah, there's a certain political skill in saying a lot without actually saying anything.
And the skill is based on the motive to deceive.
It actually worries me about her being president. Like, okay, there are all these substantive policy disagreements, and we could talk about, okay, I don't like her border policies, I don't like this, I don't like that. But what does she do when she's in a meeting with a world leader?
A significant concern of mine as well.
And she has to, like, know the details of public policy to negotiate with Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping. Like, one of the major things that you do as a president is you participate in economic negotiations. Like, what tariffs are we going to apply on your goods unless you lower the tariffs on ours, or vice versa, right? You have to be able to know a little bit about your job to be the president of the United States. And I don't know that she has an ounce of curiosity about public policy in this country. That's what scares the hell out of me.
Meanwhile, the very night that this Rogan Vance podcast dropped, fresh off a speech from the same day, here's Kamala's latest dosing of word salad. It's like she's doing a parody of Vance and Rogan's conversation of her.
And understand the difference here. Understand the difference here. Moving forward. Moving forward. Understand the difference here.
She just said the same words a third time, but in a different order. That's a lot of meaning.
What we are looking at is a difference in this election. Let's move forward and see where we are.
And of course, leave it to the internet to nail Kamala for exactly what she is. If Kamala Harris were a sign, notice the patio is currently not open because it is closed. My freedom-loving friends, I would invite you to check out the J.D. Vance episode of Joe Rogan. Most of all impressed me with J.D. Vance is just how real and disarmed he was. This truly came across as a conversation just between two guys, and Vance was real. He would swear occasionally because that's what he does. He wasn't trying to position himself. He was talking about all his personal life, being a father to a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, what it was like getting the call from Trump saying you're going to be my VP, the hard parts about having Secret Service all the time. This guy is real. Everyone I talk to, the more they hear from J.D. Vance, the more they fall in love with him. And we know voting is coming right up upon us. And I'm feeling optimistic at this point. As I've said before, there is no question Trump, Vance have Kamala defeated. Now they just have to defeat the rigging. That's why they're still campaigning. And I think it's looking good. And I would dare say 2028 is looking incredibly good for Vance. And I would dare say, therefore, it's looking incredibly good for America. Let me know what you thought of the J.D. Vance episode of Joe Rogan in the comments below. What were your highlights? What were your impressions of the man? I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comments below. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, keep America great.